Alright guys, how y'all doing on this late Tuesday afternoon, early Tuesday evening? This is the Club of the Man 1993, and we are here live to talk about last night's edition of Monday Night Raw. A little hungry, sorry. This is the September 12th, 2022 edition of Raw, and it took place in Portland, Oregon, as we are again still continuing on the road to Extreme Rules 2022. And overall, for the second week again, I thought Raw was okay. Again, nothing really too, outrageous. I mean, we did just get off like a whole month where, Triple H took over. It was kind of like the honeymoon phase. Now, ever since Clash at the Castle, it's felt like that the honeymoon phase has kind of ended. And it's a little bit back to reality of, okay, we've given you what we've got right now. Some stuff still needs work in some ways. 1 second. Some stuff, though, still kind of needs work. And I think like that exposure has been shown a little bit the past couple weeks. Especially because it looks like that they're trying to give other people opportunities. Which is fine. But it shows like that not everybody is capable of doing like a 20-minute match and can put on like a great performance. Or not everybody can cut as good of a promo as Kevin Owens can right now, who is completely on fire. And again, just some things it's like, okay, this is good, but we gotta take this a little bit further. Like, of course, the stuff with Miz and Dexter Lumis. I think it's time we learn why is Dexter Lumis targeting the Miz and stalking him. Also, by the way, when Miz left his house last night, please tell me he at least got a babysitter or at least took his kids with him. Because that was a tad bit concerning. But of course, there's one match in the show for sure that I enjoyed a lot. Very, very fresh match. And my one friend actually pitched an idea for another match, a rematch for them in the future. Which of course I will address. But of course we will talk about it. I actually also, if you didn't notice, I uploaded the last of my Seinfeld reviews last night. After I did my little live reactions video. I have my Harry Potter Let's Play getting ready to, be exported now. I'll upload that later on tonight. So yeah, a lot of my other projects are going to be wrapping up here. So maybe I may take a breather on like the extra stuff outside of my live reviews for a bit. But there could be some new stuff coming forward to the channel, of course, guys. And let me tell you guys something. I'm still going to say this. Until Triple H took over. If Triple H did not take over, after I finished these other, random projects, I was considering taking a break. Because I was just very burned out, but I want to continue to thank you guys. Since I brought back my Raw and SmackDown reviews, the audience has been great. Viewership is not sky high, but it's, a little bit better than it usually is. Because I don't really get a drastic amount of views much on my videos anymore, which is a little sad, but, I keep appreciating the good audience. So, these streams have been worth it. Even shows like this that were just okay. Not horrible, but just not much, again, is happening right now. And again, like I said, there's people who are getting opportunities, which good for them, but it shows that they need work. But, we'll talk about that all in this review. And we got Tyler here. He gave them it's a C-, and he's asking where's AJ. I do agree too. We haven't seen AJ in a while. I don't think we've seen him since. Because did he appear at SummerSlam? Last time I think we saw him was when he had that tag match with Bobby Lashley. Or no. He was on the Raw in Pittsburgh because he teamed with Dolph Ziggler to take on the Judgment Day. There we go. But But yeah, let's roll in and talk about this episode of Raw. So we open it up with Mr. Seth freaking Rollins, who even though he's a heel, he's super over with the crowd. The crowd sings his song. I still will say to this day, I don't think Seth Rollins should ever be a babyface again. I'm sorry. He just sticks his own foot in his mouth as a babyface, and just naturally, he comes across much better as a heel. So he comes out, and of course, he greets the crowd in the city of Portland, and they ask if they believe in karma. Matt Riddle got what was coming to him when he beat him at Clash of the Castle. And now he's living rent-free in Riddle's head because he's asking for a rematch, but Rollins himself has no interest in a rematch. So he's pondered over the what's next question for a week. And he didn't, of course, the crowd starts chanting rematch, and he yells at the crowd and denies it. What he's interested in this fact is that it's been far too long since he's held championships. Which that is true. Probably the tag title is probably the last thing he's held, I think. So he hasn't held a U.S. title since he was U.S. champion and WWE champion in 2015. Hasn't held the IC title, I think, since he dropped it to Ambrose in 2018. Yeah, because he won the tag titles with Buddy Murphy, so I would say the tag title is probably the last title he's held. So it's true, it has been a while since Rollins has held a title. Not as long as Kevin Owens, though, but that's a different story. Anyways, though, out comes Matt Riddle. And he just says, "Bro!" Bam! Darts for it, and him and Rollins start brawling with each other. Even went into the crowd, and Riddle chased after Rollins into the crowd, and then Rollins eventually got away. Until then, Matt Riddle's then interrupted by the Judgment Day. Finn Balor's Finn Balor and Damian Priest both came out. They're trying to get Matt Riddle to join the Judgment Day. And then they're trying to say how much Dom has grown, and they're talking how much Dominic Mysterio has grown in the last week, and they claims that they can do the same to Matt Riddle. And then Matt answers no, and he's more focused on Seth right now. And then, of course, Finn accuses him of having a cloudy brain, says either Riddle stands with them or in their way. And then Riddle hits the pump knee to Finn, and then clotheslines Damian Priest over the ropes. And then it sets up a match between Matt Riddle and Finn Balor. I think the last time these two wrestled each other was, I think at a TakeOver War Games match, which I remember that was an okay match. It wasn't as good as I felt it could have been. It was a little flat, but it was not horrible either. This I thought was a little bit better than that match. Good back and forth, but Finn Balor does eventually come up with the win, because Seth Rollins interfered and distracted him. And then Finn Balor hit the 1916 and then the coup de grace off the top rope to get the victory. And afterwards, Rollins slides in while Riddle's struggling to get back to his feet and hits the stomp. And he tells him it's over and to move on, as he's not giving him a rematch. But I'm pretty sure Matt Riddle will go another route to have Rollins give him a rematch. And I am still praying to God that rematch has a good stipulation. Like I said, I really think they can do Extreme Rules out of this. Or Falls Count Anywhere. One of the two, as I keep saying. We also have a promo from Damage Control saying they're in control and this is their division. Bayley refuses to talk about pinning Bianca, ending the interview. And then, of course, we have a promo from Dominic Mysterio in a dark room. He says this is the first time in his life he's felt alive. He's his own person, and he's done taking disrespect and bottling it up inside, and Edge got exactly what he deserved. This is his life, and not his father's. And his father should look in the mirror rather than being upset with him. Why didn't he bother to get to know him, or ask him what he wanted from his career? But for such a tiny, tiny man, he's cast a long shadow. Rhea then whispers something in his ear, and he says he's not Ray's baby boy anymore. He's a man. And then Rhea smiles. Because she made him a man alright. She really made him a man alright. Anyways, but that's a promo he had speaking for the first time since he turned on his father and Edge at Clash at the Castle. But it's a title for the main event later on in the show, which is Edge versus Dominic Mysterio. We then get a hype reel for Johnny Gargano. After the reel, Austin Theory cuts a promo asking who Johnny's first opponent is. It's not him. So he considered a close friend, Chad Gable. Ooh. Out comes the Alpha Academy saying, sheesh! Sheesh, please. They came out and Chad has a giggle about Johnny Wrestling because everybody will call him Johnny Sheesh after tonight. Well, it was a promo of hyping it up for later on in the show. Then we had the very predictable WWE Women's Tag Team Championship rematch. Aaliyah and Raquel Gonzalez took on Damage Control. Match was alright. Damage Control get the win. It was so obvious Damage Control were going to win this. But they won. They have the tag titles now. Okay. Now who they fight. Who they fighting now? You need to establish a tag team division. But the right team has the titles. I do notice that they always keep saying that, anytime Aaliyah and Raquel wrestle in a tag match, Raquel does most of the work. I don't know what that's going to really lead to, anything or whatnot. Because it is true. But we'll see. But as you figure, Damage Control got the victory. Then backstage, Ray is trying to apologize to Dom, but Dom is not listening. He begs him also not to fight Edge. Tries to warn him that if he fights Edge tonight, things will never go back to how they were. And of course, Rhea rolls up and smiles and says, Poppy knows best. And Poppy knows he's all man now. And of course, they walk away. And of course, Dom won't acknowledge his own father. And then we had probably... Sorry, guys, a little sleepy. We had probably my favorite match of the show. Johnny Gargano having his first wrestling match in 9 months, 281 days actually, as he shared on Instagram. He took on Chad Gable. Fantastic match. Johnny still hasn't lost a beat. I love that because I was worried. Actually, if this was Vince, it would probably have been like a 5-minute, squash match. But they let these two wrestle like a technical style wrestling match. We know these two are absolutely great, and they got the show off right here in this match. Very great stuff. I really enjoyed this match. Gargano does win with the slingshot DDT. Afterwards, though, Otis goes to attack, but then Johnny fights him off. Then he runs out of the ring and goes, suck it, towards them. But as he's walking up the ramp, Austin Theory lays out Johnny with the Money in the Bank briefcase. Again, as they're probably teasing a match between two of them for Extreme Rules. Theory and the Alpha Academy take a selfie together. But then afterwards, though, Austin gets in the ring. And he mocks Johnny as disappointing and says somebody had to show him how it works around here. Because to him, all Johnny Wrestling is an overrated, bottom-feeding fish at the bottom of the food chain. Which then brings out Kevin Owens. And he cuts a promo, and to me, it was an awesome promo, don't get me wrong. But didn't we kind of just get something like this last week? Kevin Owens starts talking, but then Theory cut him off to yell at him about how sick he is of idiots ruining his moments, and how he's going to take over the entire industry. But Owens says, we've heard that for months. He's talking about being the future, but last week he looked Austin in the eyes and told him he was the future. That's no longer the case. Austin claims he's done more in the last 2 months than Owens done in 5 years. Owens says that go to show what a delusional jackass he really is. Earning a contract in a ladder match he was supposed to be in. And you can't blame him. When he became Universal Champion, he was handed it on a silver platter. But that's where the similarities end. They're opposite, and he couldn't be prouder of that fact. How many guys have come by in the last 2 decades, young, chiseled stone, full potential, and how many guys fizzled out and went nowhere? How many people like he and Johnny Gargano have come in and made this the level they are at? You can count that one hand because they're 1 in a million. They're the ones in a million. And he's not saying that Theory will burn out. He hopes everything he says he is, but he's been watching. They'll tell him right now he doesn't think Theory's got what it takes to be the future. He tells him to shut up and listen and prove him wrong. And stop thinking about the moments handed and start making your own moments. All Theory does is respond by flexing, tells Owens that you'll never be like me. And Owens says, I thought talking would work, but I guess not. And then slaps across the face. And we got another brawl. And it's setting up for a match next week on Raw. And we just got one-on-one last week. I mean, don't get me wrong. Great promo and whatnot, but isn't this kind of the same thing we had last week? Because if it was built into a match for the pay-per-view with Owens and Theory, then okay, but I think we're doing Theory and Gargano. But we'll see where it goes. We'll just wait and see. Bianca then comes out and advises an open challenge for the Raw Women's title. It was answered by Sonya Deville. And of course, Sonya's blaming Bianca for being the one that cost her job as a WWE official. They have the match. Match was alright. Bianca won with the KOD. But afterwards, though, Bayley came out. And she asks, at first she congratulates Bianca on her victory. But she asked if she was inspired by Dakota and Io's victory earlier in the show. They did exactly what they said they were going to do. And they were going to take control of this whole division. Tonight was just the beginning. But since she's out here, she wants to talk about Bianca's victory. Did it make her feel better? Bill thinks it made her feel better and fed her big fat ego and knows Bianca won't be able to sleep at night until she beats her. Bayley then gloats about her pinfall victory, ending Bianca's unpinned streak, and says the match will happen when the time is right. And I don't know why at first it looked like Bianca all of a sudden had no clue. Well, I guess I can't remember. I think it was the case that she didn't see Io and Dakota, but where did they even stand when the 3 members of Damage Control climbed up onto the apron? It's like it was clearly in Bianca's plain sight that she should have seen them. But they came out, they started brawling, and I myself even got my hopes up, hoping that it was going to be when Sasha and Naomi returned. Nope, Asuka and Alexa came out, so I guess we're not done with this, and I guess we're going to be doing a tag match with Damage Control versus Alexa and Asuka. Okay, I don't know. Like I said, I'm fine with them continuing this on just for Bianca and Bayley to feud, but I don't know. I think Bianca needs some new cronies. Maybe, I don't know. But we have that match. We had Omos take on 2 jobbers in a handicap match after, as soon as his entrance music played, there was Raw had some technical difficulties and the screen to play showed like bars and tones, but there was no audio for the tones. So I guess Omos is that bad that he ruins that. But when it came back on, Omos won by pinfall. Don't really care. Ray then tried one more time to save his son, but Edge says the Dom claims he's a man and he has to pay for what he did. Seth Rollins then is saying how he's the face of Raw backstage in an interview, and Bobby Lashley says no, he isn't the face of Raw because he doesn't have any gold. So Seth challenges him to a title match for the U.S. title, and Lashley accepts. So I'm guessing next week's main event is probably going to be Bobby Lashley and Seth Rollins for the U.S. title. Very fresh match, so I'll look forward to that. Oh, and then we have this interview with Miz at home, who's still refusing to talk about Dexter Lumis. And then I guess him and Maurice left for like their premiere or something like that. And then Dexter Lumis ends up being inside Miz's house holding a drawing on a screen as Miz and Maurice and their daughters. No offense, but if we're gonna get children involved, why is Dexter Lumis still a babyface? I think, again, it is time we kind of get a little more answers, though, and stop dragging it out a little bit, because it is starting to get a little bit old. I mean, like I said, I like that they've given, like, a little bit of, like, a different side to Dexter's character to bring it back, but I don't know, again, like, we gotta get moving and get a little more answers with this, I feel like. And then we have the main event, Edge versus Dominic Mysterio. It was more so Uncle Edge beating up nephew Dominic for making him pay for what he did. He's a man, so he's got to fight his battles and whatnot. I didn't like how Dom didn't really have much of a chance to get any offense on Edge. I mean, yes, Edge was pissed, character-wise, but I didn't like how it took Rhea Ripley to take out Edge's leg for Dominic to be able to look strong. I wish they would have had Dom off the distraction, hit something that would, wound Edge. Because when Dom was working on the leg of Edge, it was great. But then of course the match ended in a DQ as Rey Mysterio came in trying to stop this from continuing, but then Finn Balor got in and attacked, and then Judgment Day just beats down on Rey, and then they target Edge, and Dom just smashed the heck out of Edge's knee with a chair, and then Finn hit the coup de grace onto the bad knee. So I guess that's going to be how they write off Edge for now, because there's no way you're going to have Edge get his knee attacked 2 weeks in a row and not get written off. Maybe, though, this will also lead to the end of this feud for now and have Judgment Day feud with somebody else, maybe. Because I know that this stuff with Edge and Rey is already gone on too long now for Judgment Day, but, That's Raw, though. I gave it a C+. I like the match. My favorite match of the night was definitely Johnny and Chad, and nothing else was really bad. It was just, again, a bunch of repetitiveness. So hopefully, maybe on SmackDown or on Raw next week, we will start moving forward with a little more storylines. But, so I gotta say about Raw, C+. What are your thoughts on Raw this week, guys? Make sure your thoughts down in the comment section below. Be sure as always to slap a like on the video, subscribe for more content on my channel, follow me on Twitter as well, at TheManAirboy93. Until then, guys, I'm checking out. I'll catch y'all later. Have a great rest of your night. And peace out, everybody. Yeah, no, I will surprise. There's no escape.